sick and tired of hearing things from uptight, short-sighted, narrow-minded hypocritics. All I want is the truth. Just give me some truth.
Welcome back to the Will and Willie pre-election special, brought to you by Lefty O'Doul's Margarita Mix and Bloody Mary Mix, available at Safeways, Lucky's, Bevmo, Rayleigh's, and other fine stores. I'm Paul Wells here with...
I'm Will Durst.
And I'm Willie Brown.
And we're doing our pre-election special where we have a lightning round. We did one on the national presidential election, and this one will do a lightning round on the local and state issues. Let's start out with something that seems to have had more life and might still even after the election, the outcome of the McCreamy case. How does the sheriff heal the wounds, and will there be a recall? What are the long-lasting effects on the city? Will first.
I check.
Pass.
I'll pick up. I doubt that there would be a recall.
It's expensive.
As a matter of fact, well, I don't think
Who's going to spearhead it?
Yeah, that is correct. I don't think that there is justification for a recall. I don't like recalls. Let's start with the fact that I hate recalls. We ought not to have the ability to fire me once you have elected me, unless you can indict me and convict me of a crime consistent with my performance in office, period. And so therefore, I don't think that there will really be a recall. It just doesn't arise to that level. Although I said, for the goodness of our city and for his own career, he really should now take a walk. He should literally resign and start to build his career all over again. Because as long as he holds on to the job, which includes doing things with people who have had domestic violence problems, that is going to be a major problem for him. He's got 3 years of probation, which means he can't 100% perform the functions of the sheriff for 3 years, and that's not good.
My turn. The recall.
You passed.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I always pass. The recall. You can't have a recall until after you served for a year, right?
No.
You can have 6 months.
6 months.
6 months. I think there will be a recall, and I don't know who's going to spearhead it, but I think there will be a recall because I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the animosity, I think the enmity that he has engendered in this city, you know, and for me, being a comic, you know, because my little next one-man show is going to be about San Francisco, and it's perfect to be able to talk about a sheriff who's familiar with the booking process. You know, I think that's, so it's good for me, but I don't think it's good for the city, and as Mayor Brown said, you know, there's so many problems. The respect of the people working for him, and I'm not just talking about the sheriff department. I'm talking about everybody else around. You know, it's going to be tough for him.
Well, let's move on, and let's hope we do move on. Let's go to State Proposition 30 versus 38. Which one will win? Which one is better?
Well,
Mayor.
I don't think you ought to say 30 versus 38. Let's start with that.
Okay.
I think they're both positively directed at trying to do something about increasing funding for public education. However, 30 is more comprehensive. It not only addresses the issue of increase for schools, it addresses all the other issues surrounding other aspects of the budget. 38, on the other hand, is schools and schools exclusively. And that's a bit less complicated. It's very simple, it's very direct, but it doesn't have very much support for it because it's not, doesn't reach out for them enough.
Right.
Schools can be helped, but seldom, if ever, can they be helped without all the nurses helping, or without the bus drivers helping, or without the people who work in the correction system helping. 30 has all those people in the same bag. 38 has nobody except Molly Munger with more money than she knows what to do with.
I think they both go down.
Well,
I don't think the public right now because of the atmosphere in Sacramento, the parks and rec department, suddenly, look at it, we got $32 million, and you don't give those people more money. And I think that's the atmosphere around the state, that you don't give these people. I mean, look what they do with the money. They put it in a secret slush fund that only they knew about, and so I think both of those are going to go down. And also, people running the no ads, because that's the default position, is no. On any proposition, it's no. And then you have to win people over, because you confuse people and they just go, I don't get it, I'm going to vote no. And that's what happened with the tobacco thing. $1 a pack for tobacco. And the state of California couldn't pass that because, the research money might not be spent in California. Where the hell do you think it's going to be spent? Wyoming? For Christ's sake, it's anti-cancer. It's, okay.
Well, thank you. We're going to
Any
go
minute
to the next
he's going to
one.
rise up.
I know. We'll have to tether him back down again. Okay, let's move on to State Proposition 32, so-called campaign reform. Will people decide based on who's funding the proposition and how it affects unions versus super PACs? And let's go to Mayor Brown.
The whole campaign.
First.
The whole campaign has been run around who the sponsors are, period. It's one of the most amazing quality professional demonstrations that I have ever seen. You don't even get to read the document. All you see is the Koch brothers, you see all the bad guys, everybody who spent money on the wrong side of every issue suddenly pushing something. It gives everybody in the world an opportunity to say, why are they pushing that? It can't be because they're trying to help me. And that's what that measure is about. That's how it's being debated. And I think it's going to be decided on that basis. And I think the labor-backed groups will have enough muscle to defeat it.
I think it's very important, because if you read this thing, if you read Proposition 32,
And I did. I was invited to on a TV commercial.
prohibits unions from using payroll-deducted funds for political purposes, applies the same use prohibition to payroll deductions by corporations or government contractors. They don't have payroll deductions. What corporation ever had a payroll deduction? It's ridiculous that they wrote that in. It's like saying, we're going to get rid of duck-billed platypuses and any wolves that have duck-bills on them too. And so I don't advocate. I don't, you go out, you vote your own mind, but no on 32. No on 32. That's the only thing I don't care. No on 32. But you're right, they're running good ads.
And you really would love to have the world actually discuss things that are on the ballot. Mm-hmm. This is one where if you discussed it, you would not be able to convey the message. And the message is corporate ripoff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was written by corporations, and then they get rid of unions, and then they get rid of corporate bargaining, like in Wisconsin, and it's incremental, it's mission creep,
And has nothing to do with restricting any spending by super PACs.
No,
which was let loose
or
by
corporate
the
executives.
It's the super PACs that
Citizen
are
United.
funding it.
Yes.
Of course, there's no limitation on
the
what
ones who
they're gonna
wrote it,
spend.
so it's written for them.
Absolutely.
They should be using that Carly Fiorina ad, with the demon and the sheep thing, with the bright red eyes and the demon. That's what this one is about.
Yeah, well, that's close to Halloween, that ad. And that is when the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest.
No, that's election day.
That's election day. Okay, let's go to the next lightning round question on State Proposition 37. GMO labeling. Personally, I'm not fond of government by poorly written plebiscites. However, does this do the job? Are GMOs dangerous? Monsanto, Dow are funding the no campaign. Will Durst.
Well, see, that's it for me. That's exactly it. I mean, I think you went to the core. You look at who's funding, the campaigns, and it's all these corporations. And I have the same problem with the insurance corporation. With the insurance, what is that, 31, I think? And that's being funded by the insurance corporation. So I'm always leery when Monsanto gets involved in state politics. So more information that people have about their food, I think the better. Maybe it's not exactly written, but more information, maybe we can make it better later on down the line. Yeah, wait, 37, yeah.
Okay, well, we're short on time, but you can have a minute, Mr. Mayor.
It will lose, period. And it will lose because
They got a guy in a scientist jacket saying, well, I'm a doctor.
You say, as you said, Will, when people can't get a handle quickly on the content thereof, they simply vote no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what this is.
Okay.
So we're
Lightning.
voting no.
Thunder.
Let's cover real quickly our D5, D1, D7 supervisors in San Francisco. Did Christina Olagi save her job on her vote in the Mercury case, or is that totally up for grabs as a result?
I think it's still totally up for grabs, but I think she kept herself competitive, if not plus, by virtue of that particular vote. I think she was
Because
perceived.
that's Mercurini's district, right?
It's
Correct.
Mercurini's district. It was Gonzalez's district, or she was part of Mercurini's operation.
But
early
she was an
on.
appointee by the mayor,
She was an
and she
appointee.
voted against the mayor. How does this affect her later on?
Well,
Well, in our next segment, we're going to wrap around back to the presidential election and everything
He knows
else
more
that's
than he's
going on.
telling.
It's the Will and Willie pre-election special, and he always knows more than he's telling. I'm Paul Wells with Will Durst and Willie Brown, and we'll be right back after a quick break with our final segment. And also, there is a Will and Willie segment coming up on the internet as well. That'll be an extra segment to the show.